Brilliant, and welcome. So today we're going to just spend a bit of time concentrating on one of the aspects that's often overlooked a little bit, which is kindness to ourselves. So maybe we'll just start with a landing practice and then go on into a main practice around that. So if you want to just start by just settling into a comfortable position, then maybe just start with 2 or 3 deep breaths just to allow your awareness to really settle on those breaths as they enter and leave your body. Just slightly exaggerating the breaths to make it easier to place the awareness on them and to use the breath as this anchor to the present moment. And then once we've done just a few breaths like that, then just letting go and allowing the body to breathe in entirely its natural rhythm. And looking just to follow the in-breath and the out-breath with your awareness to just settle into the here and now. And an invitation just to notice, what are the breaths like right here, right now, today? Are they long or short? Easy or labored? Quiet or with some noise? There's no right or wrong, just noticing. What's this breath like? Seeing if we can use the breath to just anchor us in the current moment of what's actually happening right here, right now. And an invitation to notice that connection between the breath and the body. How the in-breath arises without any kind of conscious effort. And how the lungs and chest just expand slightly and then contract slightly with each breath cycle. Just noticing if there's any other movement or signals coming from the body. And if there are, just allowing those. Just noticing and allowing what's actually happening right here, right now. And as we settle into this being in the present moment, using the breath and the body as our anchor, we may notice that thoughts arise. And there's nothing wrong with that. The invitation is to see if we can notice the thought arising, but just consciously choose to place the awareness back on the next breath or back on the sensation of the body, rather than choosing to follow the thoughts. Seeing if we can allow the thought to arise and be seen, and then notice the next breath or the next body sensation. And experimenting whether we can do this without any kind of internal critique or commentary or judgment. Just noticing a thought and then noticing the next breath. Remembering that this is the practice, to keep waking up and coming back to what's actually happening right here, right now. A breath arising. The gentle rise and fall of our chest or our tummy. A sound arising and in its own time passing. A thought arising and being seen and passing. And the body taking the next in-breath. And as we come towards the end of the landing practice, just taking a few more breaths and then, in your own time, gently opening your eyes. And you may want to have a stretch or a drink. We'll come back together. I was thinking today it might be nice to cover kindness, and one aspect of kindness that's perhaps more challenging than others. It's often easy to think of wanting to be kind, and certainly for me, the thought often then arises of being kind externally, kind to those around me, to those I meet, to those I interact with, and maybe wider through some kind of charity or interaction. But as the Buddha said, it's also just as important to be kind to ourselves. And this is one of the quotes that I particularly like from him. You can search throughout the entire universe for someone who is more deserving of your love and affection than you are yourself. And that person is not to be found anywhere. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserves your love and affection. And sometimes that's not so easy. Sometimes easier to be kind to others than perhaps to ourselves. And in fact, I noticed recently there's a lovely book by Charlie Mackesy called The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse. And that seems to be one of its many messages. There's a few lines I'll read that really caught my attention in this lovely book. Being kind to yourself is one of the greatest kindnesses, said the mole. The mole also said, we often wait for kindness, but being kind to yourself can start right now. Nothing beats kindness, said the horse. It sits quietly beyond all things. And this line. What's your best discovery? Asked the mole. That I am enough, just as I am, said the boy. So maybe we can just settle back into a comfortable position and either gently close your eyes or lower your gaze, whichever you prefer. And just bring our awareness back to the breath or the body, whichever we prefer. And we'll just start by allowing some of those lines to land. What's your best discovery? Asked the mole. That I am enough, just as I am, said the boy. And an invitation to notice the in-breath. Notice the sensation in the body. And perhaps notice any feeling in the heart space. To just notice what's arising right here, right now. Then if thoughts arise around that feeling, it's perfectly natural. But an invitation to see if we can keep the awareness on the feeling rather than discussing what it is mentally. To maybe notice the thoughts and then just place our awareness gently back on the feeling in the heart space. And an invitation now to do just a little bit of visualization and to imagine in front of us a person or a being that we love, that we particularly love and are particularly fond of. To just imagine them there in front of us and just sense for a moment and visualize who they are and what it is we love about them. And consciously bringing to mind all the affection, the love, the goodwill we feel for them. Perhaps visualizing it flowing towards them as kind of golden light. And an invitation to maybe mentally say internally what we wish for them. For example, that may you be happy. May you be well and healthy. May you be free from any kind of suffering. And just to quietly repeat this to ourselves as we visualize them and visualize our love and affection flowing towards them. May you be happy. May you be well and healthy. May you be free from any kind of suffering. And an invitation now to see if we can keep a little bit of our awareness left on this person or this being in front of us. And then with the rest of our awareness, just thinking of some of the harsher things we may have said of ourselves internally. That mental dialogue that we as humans all experience. Perhaps putting pressure on ourselves. Perhaps saying we're not good enough. Just thinking of any particular examples that come to mind of how our internal criticizer has criticized us in our mind. And just asking ourselves, would we even dream of saying those things to this person in front of us that we love so much? And of course we wouldn't. So just asking the question internally, could we be as kind to ourselves as we are to the people we love so much? If we love somebody and supporting them, and they fall short for whatever reason. Support and encouragement will always be the first thing that we offer. An invitation just to consider, what would it be like if I could offer that to myself in the same way? And the invitation is just to pose the question and then see if we can listen to anything that arises. Seeing if we can feel anything in our heart space. Just noticing, what does it feel like if we pose the question? Could I be as kind to myself as I am for the people who I most love? Could I be as supportive to myself as the people I most love? Could I be as accepting and forgiving to myself as I am to the people I love? And just as I look at the people I most care for, and I most love, then I see all their strengths and weaknesses, all that they are, and I love them for it. Could I do the same for myself? Just as I feel love and kindness and affection for them just as they are, and I feel love and kindness and affection just for who I am, just the way I am. And then an invitation to bring the awareness back to the next in-breath, noticing how it becomes the out-breath, noticing the gentle rise and fall of our chest and tummy with each in-breath. Noticing any feeling in the heart space. And whatever that feeling is, just allowing it to be. Just noticing and allowing. Noticing and allowing. And then in your own time, just gently opening your eyes and maybe having a stretch and a smile.